absolutely.
I'm not too sure if you did get a chance to like listen to one of the episodes, but we like to pick players and then we sort of just like break them down or analyze them a bit, and then we sort of do like would you buy, hold, or sell this at the moment? So, is there
Yeah.
any players that you wanted to talk about? And you could pick some Boston guys if you wanted to, or um, I mean, probably the big one for me at the moment is KD. I just think that for me, he's just a little bit of an, I suppose, enigma almost when it comes to the card side. So he's been on my mind a little bit lately. So if you're happy to talk about him, Ad, I wouldn't mind to talk about him today.
I'm good with that.
Yeah,
Look, I'm along for the ride as well at the moment.
yeah.
So
So going down the KD road, huh? Hmm.
I don't know. He just seems like his
this
rookie
could be
card.
this could be a very interesting discussion.
Yeah. Well, why don't we leave it to later? But yeah, he's
Yep.
definitely been on my mind. And then we did Tatum last night on the show, actually.
Oh,
Um,
nice. Yeah.
and we can do him again if you want. Like you can do your thing, but we could choose a different Boston guy. Like we could do, Marcus Smart, or we could do Jalen Brown, or
No, it's
like
okay. We can jump on KD a little bit. I just don't know. I don't know where your guys' heads are at. I don't know if you're gonna love what I have to say.
no, that's fine.
Oh,
But
I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going
if we
to.
disagree, that's even better. Like, can we do Marcus Smart? How about that?
Oh,
Because
okay.
I wouldn't, I wouldn't mind to do a Boston dude, and also I like to sort of do guys who are a bit, smaller.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. We can talk Marcus Smart if you want to. Yeah.
yeah.
Absolutely.
All right, I'm not getting any resistance from you at all, so I feel like we should just kick off.
Hit the go
I'll go
button.
down
Let's do it.
Yeah,
any road you want. So any
yeah.
any road you guys want to go, I'm happy to go down. This is gonna be fun.
All right, awesome. Do you want to do the intro?
You can lead it. This is your episode. This is your
Okay.
baby. You've arranged everything. So
Yeah, yeah,
so
cool.
so kick it
So
off. Let's
it's
do it.
21, isn't it?
21.5 or 22. It's up to you.
I think 22. Yeah, yeah. Welcome everybody to episode 22 of the You Can't Comp This NBA podcast. I've got a very special guest with me tonight, which would be Brian Forsman from Beast and Big Bags Basketball. How are you today, Brian?
I'm doing well, guys. How are you?
Very good. That's a mouthful, Russell. That is a.
That was a mouthful. I nearly sputtered on that one. And of course, Adam's here too. Adam, how are you, mate?
I'm fantastic. It's a little bit late, but this is good. It's nice. Is this our first international guest?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Really?
we're managing a little bit of a time zone crisis, I think, at the moment. It's what,
This is
8
very
a.m. your
different to the
time?
half an hour in South Australia. This is.
Yeah.
It
And
is
10:15 with
8 a.m.
us. So yeah.
So where in Australia are you guys? Because I just pulled up a map. I've never been to Australia.
Yeah.
So this is going to be fun for me to look at.
Yeah. So I'm in Melbourne, and I'm about 5 k's from CBD. So
I'm a bit further out. So we're both from Melbourne.
yeah.
Okay. Okay.
And like, actually, we're close enough. We can have dinner together, can't we, Ad? So we're not.
Yeah. Yeah, about a
that
15-minute
far away.
drive. Yeah.
Yeah. And
You guys
Brian,
So Tasmania is right across the some sort of strait down there, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a bit of a swim. A bit of a swim.
there's
But-
not a
You guys
bridge. You have to get like a ferry boat across.
Cool. That's amazing.
Uh, Tell us about your journey in the hobby, Brian. How did you start? And we'll get to where you're at and how you got there a little bit later. But like, tell us your sort of first hobby memory.
Sounds good. Yeah. So I'm 38, and I got into the hobby when I was probably 8 or 9 years old.
Yeah.
My father pulled me into it, and it used to be something where we would spend a ton of time growing up. We'd go over to the local card shops, and I'd bust some packs, and I'd start putting sets together on the counter. And my dad and whoever the card shop owner was at that time, because I'm a little kid, all I'm interested in is what kind of packs do you have, and can I get an auto out of here, because they're so hard to hit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, so it started way back when I was 8 or 9 years old, 30 years ago almost at this point. Seems like forever ago, like another lifetime. And so
Did you
collected
take
in
off?
the 90s.
Did you take time off in the hobby, or have you like been consistent all the way through?
I did take time off, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
collected in the 90s, straight through into high school.
Yeah.
And then hit college, which was about 2000, 2001. And when I went to college, I stopped collecting for about 5 years.
Yeah.
Got out of college, didn't have any money, still wasn't collecting, so I guess it was a longer gap than that. And I would say around 2012 is where I got back into it a little bit. By 2015, I was back in it extremely heavy. 2014, 2015,
Yeah.
and since then it's been almost 10 years of absolute mayhem at this point.
Yeah. Yeah.
The landscape's changed quite a bit in like from the '90s. What do you
Yeah.
what do we call it? The junk wax era.
Yeah.
But yeah, like to what it was to what it is it's phenomenal. Like phenomenal how it changed. Like I bought packs like in the early '90s, and then I took quite a long break. Came back and it wasn't a box of 36 packs anymore. It was a box has got 5 cards in it and you're paying hundreds of dollars for it. I'm like, what is this hobby?
Right.
Numbered
Exactly.
cards, autographs. It was, yeah.
A crazy pack used to be, if a pack was $10, you were like, oh my, what's in
I
here?
was like, oh, am I really going to spend $10 or $11 on a packet of cards?
Exactly.
Oh,
So yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy.
What university did you go to, mate?
I went to Emmanuel College. It's in Boston.
Yeah.
So I've been in New England my entire life,
Yeah.
which lands me as a Boston, New England fan through and through.
Yeah.
So
It's like
yeah, that's where I met my wife.
it's the ultimate icebreaker when you meet Americans. Like, what college did you go to? And then that's it. You've started a conversation. It's easy. Why is that such a conversation starter for Americans? I never understand that.
I think I don't know. I think it's geographical, and then sometimes if you went to like a D1 school or something like that, you can talk sports teams. Like,
Yeah.
I have a
Yeah.
buddy who went to Michigan, and he was there when Brady was there.
Oh,
So
wow.
one of the first times I met him, we were talking about things, and he was like, "Yeah," he's like, "I'm a big fan," and I'm like, "Oh," I'm like, "You know who Tom Brady is?" And he's like, "Of course I know who Tom Brady is. I was there with him," and I was like, "What?"
yeah.
I go
It's,
party sometimes and pretend I was him, and I was like,
it's
"Great,
yeah.
that's awesome." So yeah, it's a good starter. But I bet you haven't heard this one before.
Talk to me.
When I went to Emmanuel, my first year was the first year they went from all girls to co-ed.
Oh, wow.
You would have been popular.
Part of the movement.
It was fun. Yeah. It was a lot of fun. We'll just stop there, right?
Yeah. Yep.
I was a mile from Fenway Park. There were 7 other schools around us, 2 of which were all girls still. Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
So then you went from collecting, and then what happened after that? Like, how did you start breaking, or what gave you the idea to do that?
Yeah, so back in it was probably right when I first started getting back into things. I had a good buddy who was really he was back into the swing of things. He's about 10 years older than I am, so I think it might have had to do with kind of the cycle of things. And so he had been back in it heavy, and he wanted to start a breaking business. And
Yeah.
I was like, yeah. I was like, okay. So I got a camera, I got my laptop out, and I did my first break. Probably back in, I'm gonna say it was 2012, like probably the first time I really started to get back into it.
Yeah.
And it was an atrocity. It was on Breakers TV, and it was a dumpster fire. And,
Yep.
and I was like, man, I spent all this time like getting ready. Then I opened up a case of Finest, and by the second box, like cards are barely on the camera. It's back and forth. The internet feed sucks. Like, you can't see anything. I've got 2 guys in the room. He ended up buying most of the case just so we could break something.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know, I can't do this. So I had a bunch of other stuff going on in my life, and I had a brand new newborn, and I already had like a 2-year-old at the time too. I'm trying to think back of years. No, Noah was a newborn, so he was like 1, and I think my wife was pregnant again at the time. So, and then I had a full-time job, and then I had another business on the side too. So I was like,
You had heaps on your plate then.
There's
Yeah.
a lot going
I
on,
don't know
yeah.
what I'm doing here.
Yeah.
So took a break, went to nationals in 2015. Yeah, 2015, 7 years ago. Yeah, 2015 went to nationals, bumped into a childhood friend who was breaking football.
Yeah.
And I go, this is awesome. Got into a few of his breaks, and I was like, you want to expand? I'll run basketball. He's like, okay. So it's been a partnership for the past 7 years. he does
That's
football
awesome.
and baseball now, and I do basketball and soccer, and my brother does
Right here.
hockey and golf, and
Yeah.
so here we are.
Yeah.
So it's been a wild ride.
Wow. Okay. Cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I was going to ask that because I think on your website it says established 2015.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. And that makes sense why you were sort of saying like 2012 and then 15. Yeah. Cool.
I was gonna say
Yeah.
you're not flagshipping the start of things with that crazy break that didn't go so good.
It was just a different time. At that
Yeah,
time,
that's
there
it.
was like, there was 20 breakers out there, and they were all on Breakers TV.
Yep.
And I don't even know if any of them had websites at that time, but it was Leighton and Platinum, and I don't even remember who else. But you
Yeah.
know, there was nobody really doing it, and I don't know how they did it.
So, do you actually understand where? Because I'm trying to piece this together. Because I mean, I was very old school with the way I collected sets, like insert sets, and when I came back into the hobby, I went like, I remember these cards from the mid '90s or early '90s,
Yeah.
and it's like, oh, what insert sets are good to collect? And they're like, this is well beyond that.
Yeah.
And like, what do you do now? And they're like, you go in breaks. Like,
Yeah.
what the hell's a break? Like, well, you can pay a small amount and get a random team, or you can pay copious amounts of money and get your team. Depends who you go for based on the amount of money, but yeah, well, and you just get all the cards from a case. I'm like, this sounds amazing. Let's do it. But it was like, how did people come up with this idea? When did it trend from I buy a box of cards to
Yeah.
I buy spots in a break?
Yeah. Well,
Like-
so let's all be honest with each other. The first time I heard that someone else was going to be opening my cards, I said, "Fuck this.
Yeah.
It's not fun at all.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want that shit in my hand. I want to be able to smell the pack as I open it. You
Yep.
guys know that
Yep.
that fresh card smell. It's that fresh card smell. Oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
You love it. That's what brings you back, right? That's one of the things that brings you back.
Correct.
I was like, what is this? I was like, this isn't going to go anywhere. And then you get in there and you start watching it, and you're like, whoa, this is actually pretty cool. And then as I started to get more into it, and I saw the prices were up, I was like, okay, well, you can't really, I don't have the budget to buy a case of cards, which was, I don't know, you might be able to get something decent for $1,000 at that time, because it was 7 years ago. But I can go into a break where the case costs $1,000, and I can get the Boston Celtics for $50.
Yeah.
Exactly right.
That's a steal. That's
Yep.
a steal. So I don't get to open it. I don't get to have that experience. But I have the experience with this breaker who's putting on a show, and
Yep.
I started to appreciate the breakers who would really try to put on a show and make you feel like you were part of something.
Yeah.
Those were the guys that I gravitated towards, rather than the guys who are on camera and they're nonchalantly going through things, and there's no real excitement. You can tell it's more of a job for them, and it's like, when can I get off camera and go whatever.
Yeah, it becomes that
So-
sort of mundane, robotic. Yeah, understand.
Yeah.
So who
Yeah.
influenced you, Brian, in terms of your breaking, and like who did you look up to in that space?
Yeah, so at Nationals, when I bumped into my buddy, and I jumped in and started watching his breaks, I would say he was probably the one. His name's Kevin Hill, and again, he's a friend from childhood, and he's the one that started Big Breaks. He was just doing football.
Yeah.
But I would say he's the one that I initially I got in, and I was like, wow, I was like, this is more fun than it was when I saw breaks, 3 years ago. Like,
Yeah.
okay, I can see where this is going. And so he was probably my initial inspiration. It was only 2 or 3 months later where I said, well, it was probably a month later where I said, you know what, like, this would be fun. This would be super, super fun. I get to open as many cards as I want,
Yeah.
and it doesn't cost me any money. That's literally where I started. I was like, I could open cards for other people,
Yeah.
have this awesome experience, and
Yeah.
it doesn't cost me any money. And I
Yeah.
might even be able to make a couple dollars.
Yeah.
Holy crap!
Yeah. Yeah. That's right.
So yeah, I mean that's kind of where it started. Kevin was my initial inspiration, and who
That's
I
a real
started
epiphany
following.
moment, isn't it, though, when you actually realize people are going to pay you to open their cards for, you know what I mean? Like, that was the thing for me.
Yeah.
I was like, hang on a second, you want me to do it for you? Like, this is great. Yeah, I can't agree with you more on that. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
because that was the fun, right?
Yeah.
That was the fun. It wasn't. It was cool if you hit something nice, but like, I don't know. It was the experience, and it was just sitting with my dad and like opening a box and even if you hit like a Dino Raja like base card, I was like, oh, he's one of the better Celtics right now. Like this is
Yep.
cool. Like
Yeah.
yeah,
But it
wasn't,
was
oh, this is worth
you're right.
$100.
The
Like
experience of opening the cards is I've still got friends that message me and go, "Hey, do you want to buy a box? Let's go and crack some packs." That's all we want to do. Is just
yeah,
open cardboard, like play open cards. I'm like, let's get something low end and just like rip through it because we get more packs.
yeah.
Like someone would be like, no, get that box because there's more packs in it. I'm like, tell my friend that's hoops. There's nothing of value in there. He goes, I don't care. There's more packs. Let's open them.
I've been
But
there. Yeah,
but yeah, like it's this whole shift. Yeah, you're right. Like breakers have different breakers have different energy. I guess you stick with the ones that are higher energy and actually, as you said, put on a show. It's
well,
it is entertainment, I guess.
So I think, to be fair here, I've sort of set you up because that was like a very leading question for me when I was asking you, like, you know, who your inspiration is. Because actually, I've sort of set you up here a little bit. The reason I had you on, do you know that I break?
I did not. No.
Yeah. So actually, I run a small break page, and actually, the reason I got you on to say because you have been very much my inspiration and who I look up to as a breaker. So yeah, I've always
Oh,
just
wow.
wanted to say this to you publicly, like, thank you for everything because the way that you break, the way that you interact with people, the way that you price your product, the way that you ship it out, and the timeliness and the cost of the shipping. I built my break page really around those fundamentals. And I think that I can't go nuts the same way that you do because it's just like essentially my personality type. Like I'm very excited inside and I hope that sort of energy comes across. But yeah, I just can't go crazy like you do. But um, the other thing I wanted to say too in that space was that there was a period in the last 12 months where breaks really slowed down for me. And I feel as though listening to your breaks, you were probably slowing down a little bit too.
Yeah,
And
that's extremely humbling, by the way. I just wanted to say thank you. I really appreciate that.
no, man,
I really
honestly, like
appreciate that.
it's credit due because like the way you do things is just amazing. So yeah.
Thank you.
But I just wanted to add to that, just that when you were slowing down, I saw your brakes slowing down, and I was literally saying to myself, if Brian Forsman can't feel brakes, like you need to sort of have a reality check and like step back and just. And I think when I said that to myself, I started enjoying it again because I think I was going through this period of like, it's hell when your brakes don't feel, and then you're trying to run minis and the minis don't feel, and then they're sitting there for a week or 2 weeks, and you think like, is it the price? Is it the product? Is it me? And you sort of go through all those emotions, and then, it's
Yeah,
just sort of slowly picked up again. So,
yeah,
I think when you went through that and also
Mm.
spoke about it publicly, that really helped me immensely. So again, like, thank you for that, because to be honest, I would have quit. I was sort of at that point where I was just like, what am I doing? So yeah,
again, that's amazing to hear. Thank you so much.
yeah, pleasure. Um, so I think that's enough of the like the fanboy sort of
I
fandom
was gonna
stuff.
say
Yeah,
you can finish fanboying now,
yeah,
Russell. I'm gonna lead that to a follow up question.
yeah.
But
Hit me.
while you this might apply to you as well, Russell.
Yeah.
What advice would you give to any aspiring breakers out there,
Are you
or
talking
anyone
about
that's just
someone?
starting in the game?
Yeah, so someone that's already they're already in and at least semi-established. They've got their setup and they've been breaking. Or someone
Yes.
just thinking about getting into
Not
it.
someone thinking about it, someone that's sort of started, dabbled, running a few breaks here and there, looking to grow.
Yeah.
Let's
So
call them the semi-established breakers.
yeah, so when I first started, the way that we grew, it was kind of dual fold. The first was we would get on eBay and we would run auction breaks. A lot of times in those you end up getting destroyed, but the end game is you hope to get a few new members to your break group,
Yep.
which is
Yeah.
why I think you need to be able to put on that show and to have that customer service level where they feel appreciated.
For
Yeah.
sure.
And so that's how we started to grow it initially, and then um, just immersing yourself in the hobby helps too. So you get into different Facebook groups, you go in and you I don't know, enter enter Razes, get to know people, figure out who people PC. Like, if you have extra cards or something, like maybe you send them to them, or be like, hey, I put a pile of I don't know, Willie Cauley signs together for you. Like, we've been talking a bunch, and I just figured you'd enjoy them a lot more than I would. Whatever.
Yep.
You be good for the hobby, right? It's like if you want to be a good human being, you hold the door for people. You say thank you to people. You try to do good things. Like,
Yep.
do it in the hobby too, and people people come to you. They want to be around you. They want to hang out with you, and so
Yeah.
kind of treat people with respect. So I think it was both. I think it was immersing myself in the hobby, and
Yep.
really owning and just loving things, and then the 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 sort of evil end of you got to use eBay to try and pull some members into. But nowadays there's so many other things, right? There's Instagram, there's TikTok, there's
Yep.
Yeah.
Twitter, there's Facebook, there's just so many different avenues.
You've just started Whatnot, haven't you?
We just started Whatnot,
Yeah.
yeah.
Do you want to tell the crowd about that? Because I think that's very much an American. It's not an Australian thing. So
Yeah, and
Yeah.
until they fix things, I think it's going to be tough for international anybody to get into it, because they charge an ass ton of shipping.
Yep.
Okay.
So unless you have a hub, right? A lot of guys, a lot of international guys have hubs. So if you have a hub, you're safe.
Yeah.
But I had a buddy who's from Europe, and he got in, and he said they hit him for $50 on shipping. And I was
It's like, ouch. Yeah.
I go, I'll take care of you. So so he's got an appealing with him, but if it doesn't work, I'm just gonna end up. It doesn't matter, but you guys know what I mean. So
Yeah.
I do think it's a really nice platform. They've put some nice features in.
Yep.
And it works well with something else that I had a lot of fun with. So first Whatnot show, I get in there. I did a little bit of like pre-work, kind of figuring out the system and stuff like that. But I get in there, and a buddy told me about this like Wheel of Fortune thing, and I'm like, come on, it's gonna be cheesy. Like, stick with random.org. No, like, I got into the wheel, and I was like, this is a new world. Like, this is unbelievable.
Yeah.
So you get into Whatnot, and I'm like, all right, we're gonna do a random. So it's gonna be a random auction. So we're gonna start with team one. We're gonna auction them, and then we're gonna go to this super cool wheel to figure out who you get. Like, it could be anybody. And so you put all the teams in, auction the first team, go to the wheel, bang, it spins around, lands on a team, boom, you go update it in the spreadsheet, and we just did that for probably half hour while we figured out the team list. But then you break, and it's fun. Yeah, there's a lot of pluses to it. They do take a chunk of fees, but I don't know. It was good. It was a lot of fun. Comments fly. It's really hard to keep up with comments.
Yeah.
But overall, yeah, it's really good. It's a nice platform, and it's going to be really good for breaking single boxes and
Yeah.
just kind of having fun and interacting. Yeah.
Yep.
Cool. What do you think your most memorable break is?
Oh. So I actually gave this one a little bit of thought, and it didn't take
Yeah.
long. You guys are going to love this. You guys are going to absolutely love this. So it was probably my second year breaking. Ben Simmons was a rookie. Flawless first off the line came out. First year Flawless first off the line. And Ben Simmons obviously didn't sign for Panini.
Yep.
So we had been ripping some Flawless hobby and then some Flawless first off the line cases. And a good buddy of mine decided he needed to have the Ben Simmons first off the line diamond to 2. The first one had already surfaced. So we went out. I got a couple cases. We broke them. Nothing. Went out, got another case. He personaled it. Nothing. Went out, got a couple more cases. Broke them. Nothing. Went out, got another case. And here's where it got crazy. So first case of the box was terrible. I don't remember who the encased auto was, but we looked at it, and it was, it was a vet to 25, and it was like, oh, okay, it's a nice card, but it's like, there's something weird going on here. Like, so we get into the second box. The box itself, or the second briefcase, the box itself was terrible. The the auto was not good. And so tensions are starting to rise right now. We're getting very, very excited. Everyone, I can feel goosebumps on my neck. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, this could actually happen right now. I'm like, it's got to be Simmons, or who else could it be?
Yeah.
Kobe, maybe. I don't know who else would make this case. Like, actually, Kobe was still alive at the time, so he was a big hit. But it wasn't, quite the same. So
Yeah.
I don't remember what I was thinking at the time. All I was thinking was, holy crap, we might have found it. And sure enough, we pull it up. I slow roll it, pull it to the side, and I lose my freaking mind.
Yeah.
Lose
Wow.
my freaking mind. And my buddy, he said he's jumping up and down, and unbelievable moment. So,
No,
excuse me.
that's sensational.
That was that's one that'll stick with me forever. Yeah.
Yeah.
So is this guy's name Drake? Like the way he's just buying flawless, like he's buying hoops packets? Like,
Well, you got to think about it. At that time, you'd get a flawless first off the line case for like $2,000.
Yeah, this is
So-
true. This is true. Back in what was it? Yeah, 16, 17?
Yeah.
Yep.
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 it sounds so comical now, doesn't it?
It is. Well, that's
It's
that's
unbelievable.
17. Was it? No, it was 18, 19. Something like 17, 18 is when I took a break from the hobby,
Mhm.
and I disappeared. And I come back halfway through COVID, and the world has gone crazy.
Yes.
And it was like, sorry, I think you got the prices wrong. That's what I used to pay for a case, not a box.
Yeah.
And then I
That's
was
right.
not mistaken. It was what the box price was.
So you've got a flawless break planned, and how many palpitations did you get when you saw the card porn April Fool's Day joke?
One of my buddies sent it to me, and for about 10 seconds I was like, motherfucker. I was
Yeah,
like,
no.
no shot that was hit, and my buddy's an asshole. I was like, I need to research this. So I jump on, I start reading. After about a minute, I got onto the Blowout website, and
Yeah.
I found the post that they had. I clicked the button to see the video, and I got fucking Rick rolled to no end. And so I said, this is the best Rick roll I've ever had in my life. Thank God. But then for the rest of the day, I was getting messages from everybody. Dude,
Yeah.
LeBron got hit. Are you going to discount the break? Like, LeBron got hit. I'm so sorry. Another guy posted on another Facebook page. This is unbelievable. Some guy hit the LeBron and the LaMelo logo man in the same night. I go,
Yeah. That's when I realized it was a fake. Like when they hit both, I was like, "No, this has got to be April Fool's joke." Like, yeah.
Yeah.
The hard thing for-
it was. Oh, it was crazy.
The hard thing for us is actually the day after April Fool's Day. So that I was kind of like, I needed to remind myself, oh no, it's still April Fool's in America, like, yeah.
Oh no.
That's actually, yeah, that's an all-timer. I mean, what are the odds of pulling that card? Like to open boxes and then to hope to get that card? Like,
I mean, so it's a really interesting thing right now, right? So on both ends. So right now, as far as we know, the LeBron triple logo man hasn't been hit. The LaMelo 1-of-1 logo man auto hasn't been hit.
yeah,
And then the Warriors triple logo man hasn't been hit either. So the LaMelo and the Warriors triple logo man, I think both have bounties of $300,000 plus. So big cards, huge cards, right? The LaMelo's got a bounty, I know, of 1 million. That's public. But I've talked to a lot of people in the hobby, and a lot of people think that it's a $5 million+ card.
yeah,
And
I agree with that. I
some
was going to
people
say
think
like
there's
2 or
no
3,
end.
but 1 sounds like a bit low, doesn't it? Like, honestly.
So Drake's already dropped how much money? He's opened 17 cases publicly, right? So what's 17 times roughly 40,000?
Give me a second.
680 grand. So I think he's already dropped. Is that right, Russell?
That's correct. That's very good. Did you do that off the top of your head?
Yeah. So I was a math major in college until I decided that I couldn't drink 7 nights a week and not go to class and pass. So I turned into a business major. So
It's pretty good. Yeah.
But yeah, Drake's already spent 680 grand looking for
Yeah.
one card. So
Oh wow.
if that goes to auction, and you have guys in the hobby like, I don't want to drop any names, but if you have guys in the hobby who are multi-millionaires and
Yeah.
also
Yeah.
been searching for this one card, I mean, could a bidding war ensue and it goes for 15 or 20 million?
Yeah.
It might.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't know. Yeah, but
Yeah.
So coming around the corner,
Yeah.
when you asked about that break, that's where, like, this is a golden opportunity to give a shot to anybody who wants to gamble, like, to make real money. Like, it would be crazy if we hit that in the break. And
Yeah.
should I explain the break?
Yeah, explain it, because
Yeah.
Yeah.
the least we can do is give you an opportunity to pump up your stuff, because you've given your time to us. So please, like, yeah, absolutely. And
Oh.
tell us the name of your break page, all that stuff. Go. Yeah.
Oh no,
Yeah.
that's I wasn't. I hope it didn't feel like I was fishing for that. It was more
No,
because
no,
it's
no. I
something we
want
haven't
you
seen
to.
before.
Honestly, it's yeah. Please, yeah,
So
yeah,
so here's what we're doing with the flawless break. It's two briefcases. I mean, it's two cases, so four briefcases.
Yeah.
Um, we don't know how many are left in the world. Some people think it's less than 100. Some people think it's more like 200 to 300. I mean, it's just a guess at this point. I think they
yeah.
made roughly 2,300 cases of it. It's pretty easy to do the diamond math, but
Yeah.
yeah, I think a lot of people are in the boat that there's somewhere around or less than 100 cases left in the world. So what we did was we came up with this thing where we're going to take both cases and we're going to split it up into 50 spots, and each spot is going to own a 2% share in that case. Then we're going to open both cases. We're going to sell all 40 cards, and however much money we get, after taxes or fees, stuff like that, whatever we net, we're going to take that and we're going to divide it out to all 50 people, and that's pretty much what we're going to do. So it
Interesting.
gives guys a chance to jump in. Now spots are expensive. It's going to be $1,560 per spot. Which,
Yeah,
if
Wow.
you do out the math, it's under $40,000 a case. Which, as we know, there was a huge a couple of big breakers just got together and they did case breaks, and they probably had theirs valued at about 45 grand a case. I think they averaged 48, but they had some first off the line. So if you differentiate it a little bit, but so yeah, so we're significantly under retail. We're under what I can buy a case for today.
Whoa.
I'm not saying it's cheap. It's very cheap,
no,
but
no. But it's reality, isn't
but
it? Like, yeah,
Yeah.
when you bought it, the price has moved since then. Like, it's yeah,
Yeah, that's true.
and if you do the math out, if you pretend there's only 100 cases left, and each case is, even call it $50,000, which you can get them for less than that, that's $5 million. So if the LeBron's worth 10, everybody in the world should be buying every single case available and just personally opening it,
interesting.
because as soon as you hit the LeBron, you double your money if it's worth 10, right? We don't know, and if there's 100 cases left, we
Yeah,
don't know either of those things. They're guesses. So, but yeah, it's I don't know. It's a way to will we hit it? Probably not, right? But if we do, it would just be amazing. Like I don't know, that it would just be amazing to be able to give back, even though I'm not really giving back, right? I'm just sitting here, I'm the clown on camera opening cards for everybody. But
Well,
it
it's
would just be
you're
amazing.
facilitating more than anything. Like it's like when breaks started. You know what I mean? Like someone's like, we can't afford a case. Let's split up the case. You literally
Yeah.
gone. We can't afford to do this. Let's invest in getting this in the hope that we can give back. It's just sort of taking that whole case break to the next level, almost.
it's an interesting thought because I think also too, a lot of discussion has been lately about ROI, and so
Oh
I
yeah,
think
yep,
doing this is actually, you could argue, a good case study into that. So this part of it, actually, I'm very interested to see how it does play out.
yeah,
And I think it's also interesting too because when you see sold prices, you do sometimes then forget about taxes and eBay fees and shipping, and you know what I mean. There's always someone that wants to put their hand into your pocket. So
yeah.
I'm. And will you put that onto a spreadsheet and make that public so people can look through it? And
Yeah.
how do you think you'll
So
manage that? Yeah,
yes. So yeah, I was thinking through that. It is going to be a good bit of work. We're going to have pretty set parameters. I'm still waiting to hear back from my accountant to figure out exactly how to do this, but
yeah,
Yeah.
there's going to be a disclaimer that says we may need to withhold 40% taxes if we hit the LeBron, right? If we don't hit the LeBron, it's probably much easier. But if I have a $12 million check come into my bank account and then I start sending out uh, whatever that is divided by 50, $60,000 payments. No, that's probably not right. But if I start sending out, let's pretend it is $60,000. If I send out 50, $60,000 wires,
yeah.
I think I'm gonna have the FBI at my house wondering if I'm laundering money, right? Like, so
Just send it with
so
crypto. You'll be
So
fine.
how much is the
yeah.
LeBron approximate? Like, say, how much are we looking at if it goes to auction?
So it would go to we've already established that it would go to Golden Auction,
Yep.
and I mean I think it's impossible to say. So a lot of people agree that it is the highest dollar value modern day sports card, and
Yep.
so a one of one Luca, I forgot which one it was, but a one of one Luca, I think it was one of the logo men, sold for 4.6 million, I believe,
Yeah.
at auction within the past year or two. So a lot of guys' logic is it's going to go higher than that, but the other logic is there's a lot of ballers who want this card, and so
And
if Drake's bidding against someone who has $100 million in their bank account, and
sky's the limit.
who knows where
Yep.
it's going to go. Yeah.
Yep.
So
Exactly right.
yeah.
Wow. That's literally like it. You'd be sending out checks for like a couple of $100K if it's a $10 million card. Yeah,
Why-
I'm
Just
sure.
trying to figure this out.
Yeah.
The tax man might be interested. Just a little bit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think whoever came up with this concept at Panini has just hit an absolute home run, haven't they? Because
Yeah.
to put him onto a card like that, it's just so clever.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm surprised it hasn't happened to this point because they've had triple logo men before, right? Just not for the same guy. So
Yeah.
whoever came up with it is unbelievable.
They had to have got a promotion, right? Like surely that was like all the way to the top of the board, yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Can we talk about your PC for a little? Did you want to talk anything else about your breaks before we move on?
No, I don't
Yeah.
think so.
Can we talk about your?
I'm happy to get into whatever, but yeah, there's
Yeah.
nothing.
That's great. Yeah. Can we talk about your top 10 PC cards? Like, what have you got in your briefcases or your boxes that are never gonna see the light of day?
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So, where do I begin? I think there's going to be some surprises in here for you guys. One of which I don't even think a lot of people know is a real card. So back in 15-16, we hit a card out of Cornerstones. 16-17 Cornerstones. It is a Hoosiers game worn Adidas tag.
A what?
And so, have you guys seen the movie Hoosiers?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the Indiana Pacers, I don't know how often, but once a year or twice a year or 10, I don't know if it's 10 times a year, but I don't even know if they do it anymore. They used to wear these, what is the team name? It's not Birchwood, it's
Hickory, isn't it?
Hickory. Yes,
Yeah.
It's Hickory. Yes.
They still wear those. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they did a set in 16-17 Cornerstones, and actually I think it was called Grand Reserve at that time.
That's correct. Yep.
We hit the 1-of-1 Miles Turner Adidas patch,
Wow.
which was being worn from his Hickory uniform, and it's a big old chunky patch, and hit it for a guy in the group. I go, if this is for sale, please let me know. He goes, I'm a big Pacers fan. He got it. He hit me up a couple months later. He goes, listen. He goes, I've got it. I had it in my hand. I enjoyed it. If you want it, it's yours. And so that's been in my PC for
Wow.
6 years now.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's a really cool one. I've got a couple Bill Russell 101s, which I won't get into what they are, but those things will never leave my PC. One was a gift from a friend, which is unbelievable.
Yep.
Can you talk about one of them? And just the reason I ask is I'm going through this whole like retro collection thing at the moment, and Russell's on my hit list. That's all. So I just want to know more about Russell cards and that, if that's okay. Yeah.
So I've got a pretty big Bill Russell PC. I think I own 10 1-of-1s.
Okay.
So,
Wow.
But I think I don't know which one my favorite one is. It might be the Flawless Auto. I think it's 13-14. It might be 12-13. But it's a Russell. Obviously, it's on card because it's flawless. But it's a Russell Flawless Auto, and that was a gift from a friend, and it's it's super special to me. So
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
yeah, that's a big one. I've got a couple Kobe's that are awesome too. One of them is a gold standard card, and he is in a Charlotte Hornets uniform. Well, technically, he's in his draft suit, but the back of the card is a Charlotte Hornets card.
Yeah.
And I've never seen another non-Laker Kobe.
Oh.
So I think that's
Yep.
really, really cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
A few years back, my kids and I were opening a box, and we hit a Kobe 16-17 Spectra jersey auto to his jersey number.
Oh, nice,
So that was
nice.
really cool.
Yeah.
That was an experience with my kids, so it'll never leave my PC.
Yeah.
So
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, all my top cards, they they all they all have meaning. It's not like, oh, I went out and I spent, $10,000 on this. Like they all have some sort of story or some meaning to them.
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
necessarily my 10 most valuable cards, but they could be. But
They've got sentimental value rather than yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
I think that's awesome.
So it's all there's always a story of somewhat, behind each one of them. So yeah,
The story's what
Collectors-
makes the card memorable, I guess.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely, yeah. That's what makes it so special. Yeah.
Yep.
Can you give me I'm putting you on the spot here, but can you give us a 5-minute rundown on Bill Russell and cards you should be chasing out of his collection, and just a bit on him, because I'm being very, very lazy here, but this is on my future episode list. So I want to do like a Bill Russell episode. So if you PC him and you could give me a kickstart, I would really appreciate that.
So, all right. So before we go down here,
Yeah.
the thing with, and you guys probably know this too, right? The thing with vintage is well, it could be vintage. I should say the thing with vintage players is most of the guys collecting now have never seen these guys play. So
Yeah.
vintage to me is more like, if you're in the stock market, and I don't know the stock market well, but it's more like one of those blue chip stocks, right? They tend to appreciate over time, but there's only certain events that could happen where they might actually spike. So I don't want to. I have a huge PC of Bill Russell, and I love him because he's probably the
The
best
greatest
Celtic
Celtic ever. Yeah,
of all time.
100%.
And so I have a huge PC of him, but I don't necessarily recommend if when we go back to ROI, I don't know that he's one of the better guys to buy.
Yeah.
In one regard, he might be because he's old. He's very old. He's frail, and he's probably going to unfortunately pass away sometime soon. And I know some guys try and take that angle, and they try to make some money off that, and it's it's unfortunate, but it is what it is. So if you're looking at that angle, then that's one thing. But yeah, I think I don't necessarily think he's if you're looking for a huge ROI, he's not the guy to buy in my mind.
Yeah.
With all that said, it goes back to him being arguably the best player on my favorite team. I put him and Bird up there, right? Maybe Bird was better, but the NBA was expanded and there was crazy competition at that time.
Yep.
Yeah.
I never saw Russell play, so there's that too. I just have this he was my dad's favorite player, so I have this thing in the back of my head oh, he's my dad's favorite player. He won all those championships, and he was.
Did your dad go and see him play in person?
I would say that I don't know actually. I would say that yes, he did.
Yeah.
But I don't know that for sure.
Yeah. That's okay.
But yeah, I would say that he probably did. If I'm thinking about years, I would say
Yeah.
that he most likely did see him play. Yeah, I'm sure he saw him play on TV. I don't know if he saw him play live. So.
Yeah.
And his rookie card is a cigarette card, isn't it?
His rookie card is actually a 59 tops card.
Okay.
But some people consider his rookie card to be the 61 Fleer.
Which is the one that's sort of cream in the background with the green and pink through it?
Is it the one that's very, very dark? It's got a white border, but it's very dark. The very dark one is his tops one.
I'm thinking of the 61 Fleer.
Yep.
Yeah.
So 61 Fleer, he's got two cards. He's got I think it's called In Action or something like that, and then he's got his base one as well.
Yeah.
But 59 tops it's what I consider to be his true rookie. I think it's what most people consider to be his true rookie. But
57 or 59?
I think it's 59.
Because the 57 one, I'll put the link into the chat, and then I'm really putting you on the spot here. And he's 57. Is that the one that
57? Yeah, I was blanking there.
No,
Boy.
it's totally fine.
For being a big Russell fan, I miscount years. I am bad with years though.
No.
But yeah, it's the 57 one. Yeah, it's the 57 one. My apologies.
No, not at all. Yeah, because I think, to be honest, I've been looking at the 61. They're the two, and being frank again, the reason why is this because of the price. Like for me, the 57 is just completely out of my Um,
It's gone bonkers.
yeah, that's unbelievable, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
But I think the 61 Fleer is probably undervalued right now in terms of a vintage card. It's still expensive,
Yeah.
especially as you start to get up in grades. That 61 Fleer set's it's really cool. There's some powerhouses in there. If I remember correctly, it's Wilt's rookie too. Oh no, it's not Wilt's rookie. Is it Wilt's rookie? It is Wilt's rookie. Yeah. There's others in that set too. It might be Oscar Robertson as well, if I remember correctly. But it's a powerhouse of a set. I've considered trying to put it together, and then I've said I don't have that kind of money. What am I thinking?
You did the computations in your head, and you're like, "No, this is out. I'm out." Yeah.
Yeah. The line gets drawn at a point.
I have noticed that you've branched into different things on your break page. What do you think is next coming into your break page? Like, do you think F1 is Marvel, tennis, UFC? What do you think has got a bit of staying power in that space?
Yeah, so I love breaking basketball. I love breaking soccer as well.
Yeah.
My brother rips some hockey for us. I have no interest in hockey, but he loves it. We do some golf. I actually like golf a lot, so
Yeah.
he's been having fun with that. Breaks have been slow on that, but some guys love it. So that's
What's the
fun.
resale on golf? Does it like sell aftermarket well, or is it not really?
It does okay.
Yeah.
It's definitely picked up. So like, there's a guy. Well, obviously Tiger stuff sells well, right? Tiger, Jack. There's a guy named Colin Morikawa who does very very well. A young and up and coming star. Bryson DeChambeau, another young guy, does really really well. But if you compare it to like basketball, it's minuscule. Um, there's not very many products out, so I don't know. I could see golf. It's hard to say. I could see golf definitely going up. I don't think it'll ever take off like the rises that we've seen across the board in other sports, but
Yeah.
I
Like
definitely
3
see it
releases a month of golf. That's not coming anytime soon.
no,
No.
no. It's a handful a year, maybe.
Yep,
So,
Yeah.
exactly.
yeah, but it's fun if you like it. Like, so golf's worldwide, right? So if you like it, then it's cool. I don't know how popular it is in other places, but the one thing that's cool about golf to me is you can play it like almost forever, right? So
Yep. It's
you
a timeless
retire and
sport.
You're
Like,
60 and you're playing golf still.
yeah.
So it's possible that all of us in 10, 15, 20, 30 years, when we start to retire and we're out playing golf, we start watching golf, and there's a huge surge in golf cards. And everything today
Yep.
is just worth an insane amount of money.
Yeah. Yeah.
Possibility nothing happens, right? So, but golf's fun. I don't know that we're going to branch into anything else. I have no interest in doing racing. Kevin does baseball and football for us, so that's not coming anytime soon.
F1
Marvel's
seems to be getting a lot of hate at the moment, though, doesn't it? Like, it seems.
The cards are through the roof.
Yeah.
They're absolutely through the roof. I have some buddies who do it, and the cards are gorgeous. I can't believe the dollar values on them though.
Do you think that's like a pump and dump, or do you think it's something that's going to stay?
I think some people are trying to catch lightning in a bottle, but it is. I mean, it's worldwide too, right? F1, like it's
Definitely.
Yeah, it's an
popular.
international sport.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. It's. I mean, here, I know NASCAR is big in some areas of the U.S. But I don't think it's worldwide, so I don't know that that'll ever take off. But
Yeah.
NASCAR is
I
pretty
don't
much
know.
only in America. I don't know another country that does NASCAR. Yeah.
I'm not into it. I have no idea.
Yeah.
I did hear, however, and I don't know if this was an April Fool's thing because I didn't research it, but I did hear that F1 is going to be doing a race in Vegas.
Yeah. It's coming to
They are.
America.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Ah.
I
So
think
that
that in combination with the Netflix show, that's what's really giving it a massive spike. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, who knows? I am big on soccer right now too. I think with World Cup coming, I think
Yeah.
you're going to continue to see soccer rise for the next 6 months, and I think when the World Cup hits, it's going to be up pretty significantly from today. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. Soccer's an interesting one, just purely because well, they call it the world game, but it's such a huge sport in Europe. And I suppose that gives us globally gives you another market as far as collectibles go, like collectors go.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I think soccer is probably is the big space to grow into as far as sports cards go. UFC had a bit of a dabble.
Yep.
What about non-sports?
Oh, I'm not the guy to talk to. Pokemon obviously is through the roof, right? But
I saw the explosion. I saw the explosion for Pokemon. But yeah, like I'm thinking more pop culture, and I know it's been addressed here and there, but it's like movies and like, are we in an age of pop culture where trading cards are a thing again? But I don't know. I can't personally say I'll collect like Marvel. I love Marvel movies, but I'm not going to collect Marvel cards.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think it's cool. Like, let's say, let's pretend, I don't know, The Rock. The Rock had like a signed card out of, some, I don't know what it would be, right? But let's pretend it wasn't wrestling. Let's pretend it had something to do with one of his movies, or he was just on a red carpet somewhere and he signed a card. I'd probably buy something like that, and not if it's not if it's a couple $1,000s, but if it's $100, it'd be a cool card to add to my PC. Actually,
yeah.
As we're talking about this, I have another set of PC cards that will probably never leave my collection, which I just love. Have you guys heard of the show Impractical Jokers?
Yes.
No, I haven't actually.
So, in what's the baseball one that puts all that random shit in it? Allen and Ginter, is it?
Yeah. Allen and Ginter's and they've got the trees and the
Yeah. So Ginter, I'm pretty sure it was Ginter. They did a set, and so I have the set of all 4 Impractical Joker guys, 1-of-1 cards, and they're all autoed. It's unbelievable.
Oh, wow.
So
the most random thing that gets thrown in a baseball set.
Yeah, it's just silly.
That's crazy. But it's cool.
It's cool, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. That was a fun pickup. That was a fun pickup for sure.
Yeah, actually, no, I think I've still got... I do have a card that like someone from Stargate, the actor, had the same name as an AFL footballer. Mm-hmm. So I actually got the football card signed by the actor, and the actor's still signed by the footballer, because why not? And nobody got the joke except for people that knew about the player's name and watched that show. So there's about 4 people in the world that actually know the correlation. But as soon as they saw it, they said, "That's amazing."
That's really cool. Yeah, that's really cool.
But it's the non-sports world doesn't seem like it'd be something where people would be going in breaks, I guess.
So it's funny. So this just popped in my head too. Are you guys into Lord of the Rings or Game of Thrones?
Yes. Well,
Lord of the Rings, they were amazing, but
the first 6 seasons of Game of Thrones were great. The books are fantastic.
Game of Thrones, I actually tapped out. It was too much. I felt like I needed to sort of have a big piece of paper on the ground and have all the, the different families with lines attached to them. And
just get a whiteboard. It's really easy.
Oh, it was too much. I just liked the killing, and then the girls. That was great. Season 1 was that was perfect for me.
So I love that stuff, and we actually did a Game of Thrones break not too long ago.
Yeah,
really?
I got cases here, and I've opened a couple cases for myself, because you can get a case for $800, $1,000, depending on what season you want.
Yeah.
So like a lot of the actors and actresses, they auto in there, and they have cut like robes or armor like pieces. Like it's cool. Yeah.
It's one of those. I'd spend a couple of $100 to get something, to go to buy a box of something cool. But it's like, what did I do? It was a what was it? I think it was like a Clerks break.
Yeah.
Like the Kevin Smith series.
I loved Clerks.
That was like, I'm gonna buy a box of that. I'm gonna buy a box of Clerks, and it's a bunch of random stuff. And like the chase is obviously like a Kevin Smith auto or something like that.
Yeah.
And I got absolute trash, and I've still got the cards just lying in a pile somewhere. I'm gonna can't believe I spent money on that. But God, that was fun opening.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys know this, but they made I don't remember if it was Hobbit or Lord of the Rings, but back in like 2003 or 2004, they made a Topps Chrome of it.
Oh, really?
the boxes are really hard to find, and
How much have you
I'm
got
sure,
sealed, put away?
I'm sure they're gonna take off with this. I haven't bought any, so I was like, I wonder if I should say anything or I should get some first. No, but I mean, they're
Not
very
that
hard to
many
find. If you
people
go on
listen to
eBay,
the
there's
pod,
like
man.
2 boxes.
Okay,
We'll see a
Hey,
run
you
on
guys are building. You guys are gonna take off. I can tell. You
thanks.
guys
Man.
are building right now.
it.
So, I think the other reason I was sort of trying to probe you a little bit about this is because Fanatics have spoken a lot about the hobby growing, how they're going to grow the hobby, and I think, to be honest, when I listen to them say that, I'm not really that convinced, how they will grow it. In saying that, that V Friends release that they did with the blind Dutch auction, and we've been talking about this a lot the last few weeks of,
It's
the
supposed to be
resale
on
and that.
hiatus for 6 months. We're not supposed to be talking about V Friends ever again.
All right, that's it. Well, that's the last thing I'll say. But look, I was just going to say, something has to be next, and I think whether they go into movie cards or they go into celebrity cards, and they spoke about that. They want to, like, Fanatics want to feel that sort of pop culture, celebrity side. So I think,
Sure.
this is going to be coming down our throats, whether we like it or not. It's going to be coming up in our Twitter feeds, Facebook, blah, 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 blah. So
Yeah.
I probably do think at the moment there is a bit of value to be had in buying, celebrity autos, because they're not the same price that even, moderate sort of NBA players are. So,
Yeah.
They're
think-
what NBA cards used to be as far as affordability goes.
Yeah. I mean, I'm still a little bit not too sure how they're going to execute it, but I think the Gary V thing was wildly successful for them. I think that was well above the, what they thought about. Do you have any thoughts about the V Friends, or again, that's just not your...
So I'm gonna be honest. I don't know what it is.
Okay. That also means you haven't listened
Yeah,
to
no.
any of our episodes. That's
Only the
That's-
last couple.
that's the true disappointment that I have, Brian. That you,
I listened to the last 2. I listened to the last 2 or 3.
V Friends.
Bay. I didn't get all the way through Sadiq Bay. That was the next one that I went back to. But I listened to the last one,
that's
and
okay.
then the one before I forgot who you guys on that one. Well, anyways, I was
So,
actually.
I know I did promise last episode we wouldn't talk about it again, but they sold at the Dutch auction for $2,000. They've been selling for $14 after sale.
And this is a Gary V product. So Gary V has basically made his own little product of
So-
trading cards, and they look like kindergarten drawings.
Based on his NFT designs.
He got a bunch of his friends to get their kids to draw pictures on cardboard. And then he sold them for $2,000 a box.
Yeah.
And now people are buying those for $14,000.
Yeah. So I mean, if anybody wants to burn money, they can shoot it over to me. I got a fire pit in the backyard.
Yes.
I don't know. I haven't been able to totally wrap my head around the NFT thing. But I do have buddies who really believe in it. But the problem he told me is it's not regulated, and there's too many people who are just doing absolute bullshit with it, and
Yep.
Yeah.
we're gonna go anywhere. But he said there are some NFTs that are good out there too.
Darren
So,
Fox's NFT just got shut off. So all the people that put money into it, it's just gone. Literally a black hole. So yeah, it's like super high risk reward. Yeah, look, I wonder if Marvel's going to come out and they'll do like a high-end Marvel release. Like I could see that doing really well, and putting Fanatics behind that, and say in combination with Topps or Panini, like that would be really sick. And I think Fanatics have got the chops to pull that off, and I think I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt here. I think that's how they would grow the hobby, because that really would bring people into the hobby. And yeah, and I probably think, as much as Gary V does nothing for me at all. Like, he destroyed Darren Fox for me. I'll never forgive him for that. This has probably been a good thing in the aggregate. I do think it's going to bring eyeballs to it. And then, whether we like it or not, I think Drake opening boxes has probably also been really good for everybody in the hobby, because
Yeah.
no,
like-
absolutely, yeah.
so
Yeah,
he's
true.
got 59 million Twitter followers, I believe.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
his numbers are just insane,
Yeah, true.
So
Have you guys seen the 2 Marvel products? Well, there's more than that, but the 2 semi-recent Marvel products that have come out.
no.
So there's and I'm not super knowledgeable on this, but there's if you go to
There's like a
Marvel
metal-
PMGs.
Is it Metal Universe product
Yes,
that Upper
Marvel
Deck did?
Universe, yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sorry,
And
I
so,
lied to you. I did see that actually. Yeah.
it's got the PMGs in it, and some of them have gone for if you go to Golden Auctions, some of them have gone for crazy money. So there are people buying them. But
Yeah.
the other one that came out, and if you guys are like this kind of stuff, I would definitely look into it because the cards are beautiful. Upper Deck did a Black Diamond edition,
Oh, really?
and I think boxes. I don't think you can get a box for under like $800 anymore. But they're if you've seen Black Diamond Hockey, it looks just like that, and they are
Some
just
quality,
very very nice
quality.
cards.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's
And you can face
sensible.
guys like Hemsworth, right?
Yeah.
Isn't Hemsworth from down there? Chris
Yes.
Hemsworth.
Chris
Yeah,
Hemsworth is an
you
Aussie.
could chase him in there. I think his card
Yeah.
goes big money. Thor.
Thor.
I actually like that movie, so.
I was gonna say, yeah, actually, the most recent Thor is probably my favorite Marvel movie now. He's a funny guy.
He is, yeah.
So
Yeah.
we've
Jack.
ticked over that 1 hour mark, but I did want to do one thing with you before we sort of start to tie things up. We've got a little bit of a tradition to do buy, hold, sell on a player. I've just put a link into the Google Doc. It's right down the bottom. It's card letter. If you click on that, Brian,
Mhm.
it'll take you to a Marcus Smart PSA 10 silver.
Wait a second. The chat. It's only bringing me to the. I only have one thing in the chat, and it's bringing me to the Russell.
Oh no, this is in the Google Doc. I think he copied that link.
Oh, in the Google.
But I
Doc.
can put it into the.
I can put it into
the other
the.
chat too. It's all right.
Nope, I found it. Card
You
ladder.
got it?
I got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So a Marcus Smart 2014
We have to talk a bit of Celtics for you.
Silver Prism PSA 10. Okay.
We
Yeah.
would have done Tatum, but we did Tatum yesterday.
We
That's
could
all,
do
so I think we
Brown.
should. You want to do Jaylen Brown?
So Jaylen Brown, I think he's one of the most underrated guys in the hobby right now.
And is that due to Jason Tatum?
Yeah, I mean he's overshadowed. But if
Literally.
you break them down, like their numbers are very similar. Like Jaylen, if Jaylen Brown was on his own team, first of all, his numbers would be better, right?
Yep.
I mean, the Celtics team has obviously Tatum takes a lot of shots, and Brown's second in line, so that's great. But if you stuck him on imagine if you switched out Pascal Siakam and Jaylen Brown, and you put Jaylen Brown in Toronto Raptors, like. Now Van Vliet shoots a lot too, but Pascal Siakam's kind of the centerpiece there, right? Jaylen Brown becomes the centerpiece there over the past handful of years. Well,
Yep.
He was
For
drafted
sure.
in 16, 17, but over the past couple of years. So I think on other teams he could put up even better numbers. But I think he's 25 years old still, so he's just entering his NBA prime. He's putting up ridiculous numbers. He plays great defense.
Mhm.
He's not, he's not selfish. So yeah, I think Jaylen Brown gets severely overshadowed. And I think the Celtics are playing great, right? Are they going to win a championship? I don't think so. But I know some people think that they are like the team to beat in the East right now. I think it's bullshit. But if they win a championship and Jaylen Brown's in the finals and he has eyes on him and he's averaging, his 25, 28 points a game, like guys and guys see him because to me he's like a Kawhi light. Like when Kawhi's healthy, like he can score, he gets some rebounds, he'll pass the ball, steals, plays great defense, can shut down the other guy's best player. So he's like a Kawhi light to me, and
it's actually not a bad analogy, particularly the way he's developed and improved his offensive game. And that's actually
that's what's been fun too. Is he has been a slow development. When they drafted him, I was pissed.
Yeah, that was shocking. Yeah, I remember that.
What are we doing here?
Yeah.
So, but now, I mean, he looks like one of the better picks in maybe the best pick in the draft, right?
From that draft, yeah, for sure.
I mean, DeJounte Murray looks unbelievable with San Antonio. Jamal Murray, unbelievable for Denver, but can't stay on the court.
Yeah.
Ben Simmons, Ingram's been solid, but Siakam's been good too. But he's one of the best players in that draft. So I think they hit the nail on the head right there, and I just didn't see it at the time. So but yeah,
and some players do take a while to bloom. Yeah.
But I think, guys, the thing with the hobby is people get impatient. So
yes,
you get a guy, and a lot of people don't realize that prime for an NBA player is 24, 25 is where it starts. So you get a guy that comes into the NBA at 20, and 2 years in, they're not playing well, and people start to say, "Oh, I bought his rookie cards. Like I paid all this money. They're down 50%, and He hasn't gotten on the court. DeJounte Murray's a great example.
Yep.
Came in, didn't get a bunch of time. The guy's a budding superstar. He is unbelievable on both ends of the court.
Yep.
And if you sold all his cards after 2 years, you got pennies on the dollar.
You got smoked, absolutely smoked. Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you were buying him in that time, you've got a huge multiplier. Like, so I just think people give up too early on guys sometimes. So but yeah, Jaylen Brown, he's probably my favorite Celtic, and I like the future with him and Tatum on the floor together.
So he's actually down 15% the last 3 months. He's currently selling at $437 USD for a silver PSA 10.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So you're putting that as a very strong buy. I'm putting words into your mouth. Is that a buy, a hold, or a sell for you?
So now we're going down another road. I'd want to see pop reports on it because
I like pop reports.
245.
Okay, so at 245. So what I like to do is, so if he's 400 and what did you say, $27 right now?
Yep,
or 37. Yep.
So now we go and look at. I was gonna say Zion, but I don't know that I want to bring Zion into this just because he's a little bit tricky, right? But if you go look at a guy like Zion, look at his pop report on silver PSA 10s, and look at how much they're going for, and then you compare what they've, I mean, obviously Zion's got a lot of upside, right? So maybe Zion's not the best compare, but you look at any of the newer guys. Who's a hot newer guy?
What about a Trey or no? Trey's on the decline. So Ja Morant.
Well, yeah, I mean Ja's unbelievable, but yeah, we could take either one of them.
Yeah.
But pop up Ja, and let's see what his pop report is, and let's see what his are going for. Because obviously, as everybody in the hobby knows, Panini has continued to produce more and more and more, right?
Yeah.
They love doing that, don't they? Because people buy more and more and more.
So PSA 10 pop count is 1,309.
Okay, so that's almost a 6x, 5x, right? And
yep.
What is his going for?
Last sold for $1,800 US.
Okay, so he has 5 times as many, and it's selling for almost 4 times as much.
Yep.
I don't know. I that doesn't make sense to me. So is Jaylen Brown better than Ja Morant? Does he have a brighter future? I don't know. I'm a big Ja Morant fan.
Yeah, I think Ja is potentially going to be the face of the league in say 5 years.
Yeah, he could be unbelievable. But but it remains the numbers don't make sense. And we could take a lower end guy and a guy who's probably doesn't have as bright a future as Jaylen Brown.
Yep.
And if you look at pop counts and you look at money, I bet you they just don't make any sense whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys talked about Sadiq Bey. You could probably take Sadiq Bey. I bet you his are going for similar. And I would bet you that his pop count is 5x. And you can't tell me that he has a 5 times better chance of becoming a long-term legend than Jaylen Brown does. So,
yeah. So we actually spoke about this yesterday, and we were sort of hypothesizing how much of that has to do with the year that the person came out of the draft, and then how much product had been pumped out.
Yep.
And
absolutely.
How do you sort of factor that into your prices? Actually, now we've got you. So when did Prism Retail begin? Because we did know the answer to this last night. So if you could fact check this for us.
So in 15-16 they had blasters. I know that.
Yeah.
I don't know if they had them the year before.
Ad was talking about, specifically the retail box.
Oh, the actual retail box.
Yeah. Do you think that was that 17-18?
They for sure had them in 17-18. I'm trying to think if they had them in 16-17. I don't believe
they had the cello packs with the red, white, blues in 16-17, but they didn't have. Did they have the cello packs?
Do you say cello or cello, Brian? This is actually another question we need to ask you.
Palmy.
I say cello.
Yeah, cello. I like cello.
like cellophane.
Yep.
Yeah,
that's how
definitely.
I get it. Yeah. But I know a ton of guys who say cello. So, but yeah, I would if I had to guess, I would say 17-18 was the first year for the actual
retail.
Yeah.
I'll take that as a win.
Yeah, that's yours, Ed. All right, I want to talk about KD just because I've been thinking about Kevin Durant all day today.
Any particular reason you've been thinking about him today, or?
I think there's a small chance that they don't get into the playoffs, and I think that's going to be really.
Oh boy.
So Brian, I don't have a team. I just like NBA in general, and I think if KD's not in the playoffs, that's actually that's bad for everyone because he can just go supernova and change the series. And I don't know. I just think
Yeah.
I'm not going to say what I think, but so buy, hold, sell. Kevin Durant, the white PSA 9 I'm looking at the moment, that last sold for 90 US. The 10 sold for 390.
Okay.
Do you think
And
that's
that's
a
his
buy, a
tops.
hold, or a sell? Yeah, just the tops, just the regular old. I'll put the link into the thing. Sorry, mate.
What's his pop count on that?
Yeah,
So Katie is an interesting guy. I
yeah. Pop
I
count
think
is 2,900.
yeah. I mean that's crazy.
This is just a
Katie's
base rookie card,
so
yeah.
The white one, and they're pretty cheap to buy raw too. They're about $30.
Mm.
Yeah,
um I mean a lot of people already have him as a top 20 player of all time, and I just don't see it. Um, I think he has been. I think he's. I don't know. I think he's a great player. I really do. But he couldn't break through with Oklahoma City, and he was young. So he goes and joins a super team with a guy like Steph Curry,
Hmm.
who I think is a top 20 player of all time.
yeah.
And he gets a championship with Curry, Clay, Draymond. I know there's some injuries in there, but I mean, come on.
Yeah, he sort
So
of piggybacked on their success. Yep.
yeah, and then he goes to Brooklyn. They bring in more superstars. Injuries, can't pull it together. Um, do I think he's a great player? Yeah. Do I think he's as good as this pedestal that a lot of people have him on? I don't.
Hmm.
So his cards are very expensive. I'm not a KD buy guy right now.
Yeah.
Um,
So you actually think that's overpriced?
so with the pop count, I mean, so what does pricing come down to? Popularity, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if a guy's playing well, if a guy's scoring 50 points a night, like his popularity is going to be through the roof. If he's on Instagram, if he's in the news, like all this stuff. If he's LaMelo Ball and he's throwing passes between his legs, like all this stuff is just it's popularity, and I think Kevin Durant is wildly popular, and so the card could be a good buy. It's just not a buy for me because I think he's. I hate to say this, but I think he's overrated. So
No,
I
That's
think he
that
can take
makes
over a
sense.
game.
that's totally fine. Yeah.
He can take over a game. Of course he can. He's an
Yeah.
unbelievable player. I just don't think he's as good as where people have him ranked. So
Yeah. Do you think the championship chasing and the KD that we saw after he left OKC and the way he's sort of gone about his moves has that narrative sort of killed his legacy? Like, has he destroyed his own legacy by doing that?
I think he hurt it. I
Yeah.
think had he stayed with the Golden State Warriors, they would have won a few more championships, and I would have hated it because it's just another super team. Um,
Yeah.
you guys touched on something earlier. Like I think he's great for basketball. I wish, despite wanting the Celtics to win, I wish Kawhi was healthy and playing. I wish Zion was healthy and playing. I wish Anthony Davis had been healthy all year. Durant, Kyrie,
Yep.
Ben Simmons was on the court. Like I want to see good basketball is what it really comes down to.
Yeah.
And I don't want an asterisk if the Celtics win the championship and there's another injury or two in the East. Like I don't want an asterisk on that. Like I want them to beat the best teams, and I want to see some awesome games. So
Yeah.
I want him on the court. And do I think he's done? No, he's not done. They could go into the playoffs, and him and Kyrie could average 40 apiece, and they could stomp their way through the East. Like it could absolutely happen.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to, but it could. Yeah, it could.
Yeah, it's possible.
You got to wonder with the games he's taken off if it was more to rest and just prepare for the playoffs at this point, because he's getting a little bit older. He's a little more worn down. Maybe they just wanted him fresh, and they said, okay, we can limp into the playoffs because we can beat anybody. And
Yeah. I do
So-
agree with that. And he carried a massive load this year because if you think about it, how many games Kyrie played and then how many games Harden played. And then when Harden played, he did look limited. And
Yep.
now he's in Philadelphia and he seems at full flight. That to me is really confusing. It was almost like pretending to be injured or something. Like
yeah,
the stuff these guys get away with is wild. Like,
He's another guy, yeah. But
And-
then the problem is they unloaded too. They got rid of Levert. They got rid of Jared Allen. I know they got rid of a few other guys too who were very good support players. And
they got rid of their
really
stock
unloaded.
reserves almost. Yeah.
Dinwiddie left too. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Dinwiddie. Brown, is Brown still there or is he gone?
Gone.
He's still there.
No, he's still there.
He's still there. Yeah. But yeah, the point is they got rid of a lot of those. Spencer Dinwiddie, by the way, severely underrated in my opinion. The guy is really, really good. That Dallas team is very, very dangerous from top to bottom. They are really good.
You won't believe what his cards are selling for.
It's probably extremely low.
Yeah, Dinwiddie is like.
He's been passed around like crazy. He's been on like 5 teams. He got drafted by the Pistons, and then he went to the. Did he go straight to the Nets after that? And then from the Nets to the Wizards, and then from the Wizards to the Mavericks now. So
yeah,
I think the Mavericks fleeced the Wizards on that trade. By the way, I know Kristaps has got a lot of upside, but Burton's and Dinwiddie for Kristaps, I don't know. I think they did a good job.
They've done quite well.
Alrighty, so 14-15 Dinwiddie rookie card, a blue-green, $4.55 US.
Yeah.
On card auto number to 49, $11.60. Yeah. We spoke about Dinwiddie already this year, and his price is he's actually not on card ladder. That's how unpopular he is. They're still sitting around the same price. It's unbelievable.
So tell me what happens if the Dallas Mavericks make a playoff run, and Dinwiddie has kind of asserted himself as their second scorer, right? How about if he's averaging 20 points and they make a playoff run and go to the finals?
Yeah.
Obviously, Luka's back, but all these people are now going to see Dinwiddie on the court. They're going to see him averaging 20 points a game.
Yep.
They're going to look and they're going to be like, "Wow, these cards are super cheap."
Yeah.
I think they could easily. I'm not saying I'm going out buying him, but I think he could easily, 3, 4, 5x. They're so cheap.
If you put $50 into Dinwiddie, you're not going to lose any sleep over it. And yeah, PSA 10 sold for $69, and that's the blue.
Oh wow.
The pop count's got to be super low on that.
Yeah, well, you're not going to get a high pop count on someone that's sort of they're not going to get many graded. People aren't just going to send off random Dinwiddies. Yeah.
I'm going to aggregate you here. Brian Forsman says, stay away from KD and buy Spencer Dinwiddie. I might make this the clip, actually. But
controlling the narrative right there. What the hell?
That's the paraphrase, yeah. I mean, on the scammers page soon enough.
Oh, wow.
Did you want to add anything to before we tie off?
Look, no. I suppose. No. Actually, no. There's nothing to add from my side. I think we've covered most of all of the topics on the Google Doc.
Yeah. Any closing thoughts for you, Brian?
No, just a big thank you to you guys. I really appreciate it. Really humbled that you guys even thought to have me on the show. So this was a lot of fun, and I really appreciate it, guys.
Yeah, thanks so much for coming on. And can you please promote your break page and your whatnot, and tell us all about it, where we can find you?
Yeah, so everything is going to run through the website. It's bigbreaksportscards.org, and that'll give you links to Facebook, which is very, very active. Twitter and Instagram we're still working on. Same thing with TikTok. And then, Whatnot will have links on there too soon enough. So,
great.
Yeah, find all our stuff on the website.
Yeah, we can put that into the description. That's fine. Yeah,
put some links out there and share that around. Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. When Russell said there was going to be a Google Doc, I said we're just going to have some random stuff. We are just going to have some fun and have a chat. It's been a lot of fun. Definitely worth staying up late or getting up early. I think it's been it's been good.
Great time. Thank you guys.
Yeah, thanks so much, Brian, and thanks everyone for listening. And have a great day.